Hello everyone, I hope you've been enjoying my videos of the beautiful places we've been visiting outside of Manila. But what I want to do now is share some of my local knowledge with you. I've been travelling to the Philippines for almost 12 years, and you learn things along the way about what to do, what not to do, what precautions to take. And in this conversation, I want to talk about money. So when you're coming to the Philippines, how do you manage your money? First thing to note is that when you land at the airport, you're only allowed to bring in 10,000 peso in cash, and that's per person. The truth of the matter is no one's ever checked. Although you make a declaration, no one's ever checked whether you have more than 10,000 peso in your wallet. But I'm not suggesting you do that. What I'm suggesting is to be aware of the fact that you can only bring 10,000 peso into the country. But when you land here, of course, you can go to any bank and deduct cash as much as you need to. The other thing to note is they don't have Apple Pay. What I mean, the Filipino banks don't issue, are not set up for Apple Pay. And if you go to a retailer or whatever and you say, I want to pay Apple Pay, you get this blank look. They don't know what you're talking about. What they do have though, and this is only applying to foreigners with foreign Visa or MasterCards, it doesn't apply to the locals, is that you should say to the retailer, I want to pay contactless. And I usually make this sign of my phone that I want to pay contactless. They use a white machine, a different machine to process your payment, and it has Maya on it with all different cards, symbols, and a wireless symbol. So as a foreigner, you can pay with your Apple Pay, you can pay contactless, but usually they are stores that are sort of big chains that are spread out throughout the world, or they may be from the US or whatever, or stores that are big enough to have been set up on Apple Pay or contactless. So just be mindful of that. They're not really, they're miles behind, I'll be honest, when it comes to digital cards, contactless cards, Apple Pay. I think this country has got a long way to go, but there's an example of how I got around the issue. Is sometimes the terminology that you use may be helpful. So use the term contactless, do a little symbol, and for example, if you go to Starbucks in the Philippines, they all accept Apple Pay, or if you go to a big retail chain, food chain, they do accept Apple Pay, although the locals can't do it. The locals have to use a physical card, and you'll see that when they're paying. If they're using a card, it's a credit card, it's a physical card. The other thing I want to talk to you about money is don't put, this is some advice because it's happened to me, don't put all your credit cards in the same wallet. What happens if you lose that wallet? Well, trying to get a replacement credit card here in the Philippines is going to be difficult, particularly if you're with a foreign bank like I am. You're with nothing, essentially, and you won't be able to take cash out, you won't be able to pay for anything. So what do you do? And it can be quite a traumatic experience if you lose your wallet. So my advice is separate your cards. If you've got two credit cards, put one in a different wallet and put one in another wallet, but don't carry both of them with you at the same time. If you're staying in a hotel, just put one in the hotel safe. The same with cash. Split your cash. Don't bring all your cash with you. Maybe bring 5 or 10,000 peso in your wallet and leave the other 5 or 10 in the hotel safe. And this will ensure that if you lose your card, your credit card, you have got a backup card from another bank. And it's not going to be as traumatic, because all you need to do is close off that card that you've lost, and you can do that fairly quickly, but just some word of advice there. I lost my credit card last time I came here, and I'm a living example of this situation, but I was smart enough to put my other credit card in the safe. I closed off the card immediately that I lost, and I had cash also in my safety deposit box or safe in the hotel. So really what I'm saying is you need two cards. You need two methods of payment. Don't come with just one. You need a backup, because if you lose one card and you haven't got another one, what do? How do you access cash? And don't rely on your phone, because as I've mentioned, they don't have Apple Pay here in every retail store, and you're going to struggle, and it's going to be quite a traumatic experience. The other thing about it is, how do you carry your money around? Now, I've got here what I call a man bag, and this is for men. You just wrap it around like this. Now put your man bag at the front, not at the back, because people can unzip your bag and take things out. There are pickpockets in the cities. I was once pickpocketed by someone, a young kid, who was trying to grab my attention. They sort of operate as a gang, a group led by someone who's overseeing them. He put his hand in my pocket, my trouser pocket. Now, I don't carry any money in any pockets whatsoever. So I carry my money in here, and it's going to be a big struggle if someone wants to try and rip this off you. It is a deterrent. So men, if you're not used to men bags, I'm sorry, here in the Philippines, it may not be a bad idea. Also, you can wrap around a wallet around your stomach, underneath your shirt. That's another place where you can put your money in your cards, and they can't access that. There's no way they can rip that off you. The Philippines, when it comes to personal safety around wallets and bags, is a little bit different than probably what you use. Video there because a street seller decided to come past, and they're selling things and they're quite loud. I'm taking this video from the province, and you can probably hear a motorbike now going past in a tuk-tuk. They're all very noisy, so that's what you're hearing in the background. Personal safety, going back to it again, get yourself a man bag, get yourself a wallet that you can wrap around underneath your shirt. And this goes for women too. The same thing applies. It is known for people on motorbikes to snatch your bag off you or rip your bag off you and make a run up. When you're in the shopping areas and you're sitting down and you're having a coffee or you're buying something, for God's sake, don't leave your iPhone on the table out of sight. It'll be gone within minutes. People are watching you. You don't know that they are, but they're watching you. These are thieves that prey on foreigners who are clumsy. And the minute you put your phone on the table and you turn around, it's a snatch and grab, and they're gone. And again, they operate in gangs where they're coordinated, and they're looking for people like you who are sloppy. And because let's be frank, in Australia and in other Western countries, you leave your phone on the table when you're having a coffee. You're not too worried about people stealing things. They're a little bit more honest. So just be mindful of that. The other thing is, don't expose yourself as being extravagant when it comes to jewellery. Don't wear big gold chains around your neck. Don't wear big gold chains on your arm or whatever. I guarantee you at some point someone will try and snatch that gold off you. And they'll rip it off you and make a runner, and they'll go and pawn it. So be a little bit dressed down, be a little bit more humble. Try not to expose yourself too much with jewellery that can be seen, particularly gold, from a distance, because gold is very popular here. The locals love gold. It's a form of currency. Always remember, excuse me, always remember, as a foreigner in the Philippines, you are to some extent a walking teller machine for some people, and they see you for what you are. A wealthy foreigner, in Filipino terms, is here, and you are an opportunity. And this will always be the case because the Philippines as a country, the majority of people, and I think the stats say about at least 70% regard themselves as poor. And that is, they cannot meet their daily needs, their consumptions when it comes to money. And only a small percentage of people are wealthy. And then you've got this middle class that identifies middle class, but then they're not as middle as what you think. It's just a form of, it's the way the Philippine Statistical Office breaks it down. So be mindful that particularly in the province areas, when you're walking around Manila, the majority of people struggle. They struggle to make a living. A lot of them are on $10 to $15 a day, and they struggle to make ends meet. And that does draw out this behaviour of theft, of stealing, of pickpocketing, snatch and grabs. All that sort of stuff is driven by poverty. In a country that doesn't provide social security services, there's no unemployment pension here, there's no old age pension, there's no single mother's pension, there's no disability pension. People here, if you don't make money, you starve. And it's as straight as that. If you don't make money, you don't eat, and your family starve. And it does drive people to desperation. And I think, in essence, that's why we see this, what I call petty crime in the Philippines. But if you take these precautions, it is highly unlikely, and I say highly unlikely, that anyone will ever bother you or steal anything from you, because they'll move on to the next person and look for an easy target. Anyway, that's it from me now. I hope you enjoyed this session. I want to do a few more sessions about this country and when foreigners come here, what to watch out for. And in my next session, I'll probably talk about some other things that you may find interesting about the local culture. Until then, bye for now.